What's up, Mavis? Starting a little bit earlier today. Market is, I feel like now's a good time to stream just because market's showing some opportunities. So I want to talk about them. Chicken Gang. What's up, Chicken Little? What's up, JMR? Hey, that's good timing with up only ending. I really need to make sure I'm not streaming while they do, because that is some competition that I do not want to face. What's up, Nas1 or Nason, Democryptus, LXT Trading, Colombian Show? What's going on, everybody? Colombian Snow, sorry. What's up, Apeng Rehan? What's going on, everybody? As usual, we'll give people a couple minutes to get in here, and then we'll get started. Still got a couple minutes until 2200 UTC. It was a neck only show. Good timing. When am I on there? I don't know. I haven't gotten the invite for up only, so maybe one day. What's up, Crypto Grappler? You ready for some hopium? I will do my best to give you unbiased opinions and views. I do think we look all right, but I'm watching this hourly close, and if we can't push up a little in the next 2 minutes, I probably close my long, but we'll talk about that. What's up, DS Bondo? What's up, Oscar? I think funding rates do have some alpha there, but you kind of need to know when to use them and don't solely rely on it. Like if you're bullish and you have a setup and you check funding and funding's really high, I wouldn't let that like stop you from taking a trade or something. But if you have a long setup and funding is negative, like that's some killer confluence. So, all right, guys, like one more minute and we'll go. I need to see a strong close here from Bitcoin. I think I posted this in Telegram. Yeah, okay. I dropped the link in there. Nice, we're getting a little bit of a push here. Okay, I think we gave people plenty of time. 86 people here, so let us get started. Before we begin, I just want to give a shout out to my sponsor, Bybit, down here in the bottom left corner. They are my preferred crypto derivatives exchange. Quick order execution, less slippage than other exchanges I've used, and very seldom does the exchange go down or have a lag or overload or anything like that. So I really enjoy trading on Bybit, and shout out to them for sponsoring the video. If you guys enjoy this content, then be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to support me, then feel free to use that Bybit link in the description. So with that being said, let's jump into it. I am just closing my long right now, but I will tell you guys why in a second. I wanted to lock in some profit. Okay. Only up a little bit on the day because I tweeted earlier that I was long, and that was basically right here. Here, let me go to a cleaner chart, but we'll come back to this one. I tweeted that I was long here, and it was basically the retest of this rate, like we took out the low, took out the high, retested the range low. I thought we were going to bounce from there. We didn't, and in hindsight, I should have been a bit more patient and followed the plan that we laid out from the previous stream. However, I did catch an entry at 55.7, so right around here, because I think this hourly level is some really nice support. And I just TP'd that long on this hourly close because we rejected at this level. This has been a really nice SR level throughout here, and now we just rejected there. So I like to preach taking profit at resistance and then adding back on when we flip it. So now I'm not worried about if Bitcoin does this. I'm not worried about if Bitcoin does this. I'm not worried about whatever happens. I'm out of my trade. I made money. I had moved my stop loss up to here on my initial long because I was like, if we take out that low, I think we're going to go deeper. So I got stopped out for probably negative 0.3 R or so on that long. And then on this one, I just made probably around 1 R, 55.7. I had a stop right below this hourly level, closed it here, 0.9. So I'm up on the day, but it was nice to catch that long to kind of mitigate or take away the losses from the long earlier. So with that being said, or like I said, taking profit at resistance is something I talk about a lot because it was kind of always our plan. This was our plan from last week, and I wish I stuck to this a little bit more diligently because this, I mean, it kind of played out perfectly. I got a little impatient thinking that this low or this wick down was our drop, when in reality, like if I waited a little longer, it was this one. So I was a little bit early on that. That's okay. It happens. I was able to mitigate those losses, but now we've come down here, we've tested the hourly demand, and we're starting to push away. That looks really good, but we are right up against resistance. So for me to get long again, I need us to break above and then retest this 56.4 to 56.6. We have a lot of really nice confluence around this area. We have Monday's low, we have the weekly open, and we have this SR level. So really clean level. And if we can't manage to flip that, I think we come down for a bit more downside. My first guess would probably be this level, this 4-hour demand. And if that doesn't hold, then I think we're coming down to 51K, which is kind of where we've been wanting to long the entire time. And that got front ran here again. So maybe we take out both those lows into here and then start trending up. There are a few things we need to watch out for though. So let me move this, and then now that I've kind of given a brief overview, we'll talk about specific scenarios I'm looking for. I honestly don't think this looks too bad for a scalp short, but I'm not going to take it. I mean, we basically dumped dead cat bounce or whatever you want to call it here and just swept this high into resistance. So I think it's a valid setup, but I'm not going to try and I'm just, after dropping this much, I think we could even push up higher before coming down. But yeah, it is a valid setup, but right before the daily close and a couple other factors coming right off of hourly demand, I don't really want to take it. But okay, so let's talk about the scenarios I'm looking for. First one, break of this level. You look for a long right here. Like I said before, we got weekly open, Monday's low, and this SR level for confluence. So I'd much rather long a flip of this than short this initial touch of the level. So that would be a really nice long scenario. Otherwise, or I'll leave that one here so I don't mess up too much of the drawing and then go back to this one. This is that same level, I just have it drawn a little differently here. Let's see. We've got this 4-hour demand. Okay. I would much prefer if we were bottomed here, and I think that's possible. We also came into this 2-hour level. Like, I definitely think the bottom could be in. The only reason I closed that long is because we're right up against resistance, and if we do end up flipping this, I'm basically getting right back in where I took profit, but now the probability of going up is way higher because we already flipped that level. So the only way I lose out is if this just goes straight vertical. But if I want to be even a little bit more aggressive, if we close an hourly candle like up here, I could just market enter right away with a stop right there. So an hourly candle close would be the more aggressive entry. So that's the main scenario I'm watching. Flip of the weekly open. We have that right here. I'll probably post this chart on Twitter after the stream, or post it in the free Telegram, just because this is the main scenario we're watching, and who knows, maybe we get an entry on this during the stream. Actually, we probably wouldn't, because I'd want to see it play out in a couple candles. Like, even if we broke above here and then maybe consolidate a little bit, I'd wait for the daily close. Also, let's take a look at daily candles. Not too bad. We'll see if it closes above the weekly open, but nothing to be too worried about. I do still have quite a bit of altcoin exposure, and so that's also why I was fine with cutting this long early. I'm long a few different alts. We'll talk about that shortly. But yeah, with whatever, like, I know that took a while to talk about just that first scenario. I'm rambling a lot today, but so main scenario, flip of the weekly open. Alternative scenario, it's a really ugly squiggly, would be if we come down into this 4-hour level, look for longs right around 54.5, and the invalidation is right here. This would kind of be like the last line of defense for the bulls if this comes down again. So that could be something to watch out for. And then lastly, if we break through that level, we want to long 51. So I'm just going to draw this. Okay. So those are my plans for Bitcoin. Long in here, long down here, and long on a flip of the weekly open and Monday's low. The reason I have this set up on this chart is A, to not make things too messy, and B, because Monday's range is a little messy on the Bybit chart because we had that wick that went down a lot. So targets for this, if we flip this level, monthly open would be my first target. If we flip the monthly open, then you long, well, I guess I don't need an arrow there. Then you long it to Monday's high. So those are the two main spots we are watching. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think flipping this level would be a really nice long opportunity because then our risk is very clearly defined here. If you were just setting limits, like, it's a little more risky. But now if we flip that, I would look for something like this. Stop right there, a little over 2%, but that's a good stop loss. And 2R trade, 2R trades are money. I'll take a 2R trade all day. A lot of people on Twitter or I don't know if it's as much of a thing anymore, but a little while ago, probably like a year or two ago, these like high risk to reward trades were like the cool thing. And so everyone's posting these high risk to reward trades. And as I've grown and learned as a trader, these 1, 2, 3R trades are my bread and butter. Like, when you're risking a fair amount, then you're fine with just making 1 risk to reward trades or 2. Like, that pays off big time. So that is the Bitcoin analysis. Does everybody understand the long scenarios that we're watching? Also, a little added bit of confluence could be, we did have this lower time frame range kind of that we were working with. So in flipping the weekly open, we would also be getting back within that lower time frame range. It looked better on the 15-minute. Like you can see, price was really well congested in this range, really clean deviation above. Had the little sweep here, but nothing major. But you can see from these 4 tests of the weekly open at 56.6, that's a really dynamic SR line. So a flip of that would be a really nice long, in my opinion. Ideally, I think it would be great if we had a spike up before the daily close, and then like spike up before the daily close, new daily candle opens, we get a pullback right at the open, put our low of the day in early, and then push away from there. That's kind of the dream. If I could pick exactly how this plays out, that would probably be it. Does anyone have questions about the Bitcoin plans? I feel like those are pretty clear, and I'm happy to post these in the Telegram after the stream so that you guys can keep an eye on them. Or you can just take a screenshot like this, but these are essentially the main things that we're watching. Pull back into here. If that gives out, looked along 51K. But if we bounce from here, which we absolutely could be bottomed here, and if we do bottom here, look for a flip of the weekly open at 56.6, and that's our long trigger. So this is a perfect example of planning your trade. I have no idea what's going to happen. We could dump from here, we could go up from here, we could just range here, but no matter what happens, we have a plan in place, and we know what our triggers are. We've planned our trade, and now it's our job to just execute if this plan, or if any of these 3 plans come to fruition. All right. What's up, the Spaniardo? What's up, Forrest Gaines? What's up, Russo? What's up, Chris? What's up, Sam? Kavishka, Kalhara, love your work, man. Keep it up. Appreciate that, man. The amount of times you can hit a 1 to 3 hour trade is going to be a lot more consistent than a 10 hour. Yep, that is absolutely right, Cody. It comes down to a hit rate. And I also think going for those lower R trades I think it can be a lot healthier for your mentality, because if your strategy is actually like 10-hour trades, that means you only need to hit 1 out of 10 to be break even. But man, losing 9 trades in a row, obviously it won't always happen like that, but that would take a huge hit on me mentally. And so my system, my style of trading, it's more lower R trades. I still can hit high R trades, like they still happen every now and then. Like I think it's possible that we pull back into here and then end up targeting like 63K on it if we can trail our stop up well, and if it is indeed bullish. And so that would be a 5R trade. So it's not like I never hit those, but definitely for the most part, like 1 to 3R, that's the money making zone. Let me see. Spaniardo says it makes sense. Converted my BTC spot to alts. It can pump now. Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly is going to happen. Part of me just thinks Bitcoin is going to take front stage for a little bit, but alts might keep running for a while before then. I'm still hoping XRP pumps soon. Just a big old pump. Kaz, do you want free access to my market profile indicator? I don't use it a lot, but you could send it over. My TradingView username is CosTrades, I believe. Yeah, CosTrades. So if you want to grant me access, I can look at it at some point. It's my first time in the stream after being recommended by Amar, and it's amazing. This is really insightful stuff. Awesome. We're glad that you're here, Jesse. I totally agree, bro. Where can I read about our trades? Hey, the Spaniardo or Brennan, could one of you guys send the link for the risk management video in the chat for Amaj Latan? Sorry if I completely butchered your name, but in my risk management video, I talk about risk to reward and things like that. So check that out. If one of you guys could send that, that would be awesome. And let's move on to Ethereum. So here were our Ethereum plans from last week, or from Tuesday. This plan did not play out, so I'm going to delete that. It didn't dip, and it's all good. This one did not play out either. We didn't quite dip as far as I would have needed to enter along. It came down to 32.15, and I would have wanted it to come to like 31.40, but that's all good. I think this Monday's range high continuation play could work out, but because it's chopped around this level quite a bit, I'm not personally taking it. However, if you really want some Ethereum exposure, I think a stop below this low would be just fine, and target some price discovery. If it broke back within Monday's high, then I would look to cut it early. But the reason I'm not taking it is just because it just has not interacted very cleanly with this level, and so I don't really want to be involved. I could look for a continuation play on Ethereum if we break above this level. I would say this is kind of our key high that we swept right here, and so if we can break above and then retest it, I think that could be a nice long opportunity with a stop right there. So let me spread this out, move it so it's not like right in the way, but something like this. And if we flip that level, I'd be comfortable having my stop loss right here. Probably target like 4,000. So I would look for something like that. Like I said, I wouldn't want to trade it or take this setup. Like, you could long it right here, but like I said, Monday's high has been not respected very well, other than right here. I like how on a closing basis it closed above it, wicked below, closed above. I think that's good. I think that's bullish, but I would want to see us get above 35.58, and then I would look for a long. Bitcoin's starting to push up a little bit. If we can push up to like 57K by the end of the stream or something, I'll probably set some limits, some limit orders to enter along, but we'll get to that when the time comes. So this is the plan for Ethereum. That's pretty much the only scenario I've got laid out for right now. I don't really want to short this just because ETH BTC has been so incredibly strong. So if it just keeps ranging, like, I'm just not going to trade Ethereum. If it follows my plan, gives us the entry, then we will long it. Simple as that. Yeah, I don't chart BTC dominance too much, but I look at it every once in a while. I haven't really used anchored VWAP, but I know some people that do, so I kind of know about it. I just haven't used it a ton myself. I only trade right now. I only trade crypto when crypto is really slow, like back in the day. I don't know if this chart will have enough history. Yeah. Back in the day, like, there were some periods of time where I traded some FX, like when Bitcoin would just range a ton. I traded some FX just because I wanted to trade in basically any market with volatility. So I have traded FX, I've traded some SPX, I've traded some commodities, but crypto is definitely where crypto's where I'm completely focused on right now, and it's where I'm usually focused as well. What's up, Steve? Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah, so thank you, Brennan and the Spaniardo, for linking that video. So that YouTube link is my risk management video where I talk about all things risk management that you need to know. So you can give that a watch. Let's see. Yeah, Ethereum is in a choppy upward grind, hard to get clean setups. I agree. This PA has been a little rough, but if it follows this plan, I think it would be a nice long opportunity. Okay, moving on. Litecoin. Our plan from last stream was a dip into here and take out these lows. It came back to Monday's high, but then bounced from there. Litecoin has shown a ton of strength, which is great because I do have spot Litecoin. I like this range here. Nice sweep of the high, sweep of the low. Mid-range has been pretty good SR. I don't like to trade the mid-range because I feel like I get chopped up quite a bit if I trade mid-ranges. But if this does flip the mid-range, I would just keep a closer eye on it. And if we break above the range high, I'll look to long Litecoin up to its all-time high at 420. I'm going to take this off for now. Weekly open's super far away, right? Let's see. Yeah. Yup. Uh-oh. Did my mouse just die? You have got to be kidding me. Okay, I have a cable somewhere on my desk. My mouse just died. What a joke. That's the wrong cable. Oh my gosh. One sec. I got rugged. I got rugged by my wireless mouse. Yeah, the cat ate it. All right, I'm back. I was digging through my drawer looking for my the right cable, and I only found a short one. So my hand is like way on one side of the desk so it can be connected to my computer. Let's see. How long have I been trading? About 4 years. How do you see trading crypto in a bear market? Just like a bull market, but you have a short bias. It's just down only instead of up only, and we really get used to our red buttons, just like we're used to our green buttons now. Okay, let's get back to it. So for Litecoin's been super strong. The only way I'm interested in playing this right now would be if you didn't catch it at the range low, because obviously like when we closed this candle, it was a really nice sweep of the range low. You can see how many lows we had piled up here and also this low. So unless you caught it at like 330, I would just be patient for right now and look for something like this to get long, and we will target 420 because that is the all-time high. It doesn't show it on this chart, but that's what it is. How do you know when to change bias from bullish to bearish? Good question. And you won't do it at the exact top, but I think a few factors play into this. I would say the daily market structure. Like if we look back at when it happened here. Also, a blow off top could give you some indication of it. So here, this gave a big clue. The fact that we had 7 bearish days in a row. But even if you didn't flip bearish there and you were still bullish, you longed this dip, it went up. As soon as we broke below this, because you can see this was kind of the floor that held us, as soon as we broke below that, that's officially a break in structure for me. And then you're just looking to sell bounces as much as you can. So I think daily market structure will help. I think like a blow off top, something like that, can sometimes give you hints. And also on-chain analytics can give you a good idea about that too. Like if people are putting, if they're sending money to exchanges versus withdrawing money from exchanges, like when people withdraw Bitcoin from exchanges to their wallet, that means they're holding it. They're not selling it. And so in a bull market, you see that a lot. Everyone is withdrawing their Bitcoin to just hold it in their wallet. But when you get to a bear market, you're starting to see a ton of inflows to exchanges. So when that kind of flips, I think that can help a lot. Yeah, things like that. But I mean, I'll do my best to help you guys out with when I think we're topped out. I don't think we're close to being topped out yet, but yeah. Let's see. So we were just talking about LTC, right? Yeah. This is basically our plan. Just flip 360, and then we'll look to long it to 420. I can't say where the stop loss would be yet because, like, if we just do something like this and then get above, I would put my stop loss at whatever the low was before breaking out of the range. But this far in advance, like, it's impossible to know. It's impossible to know where that would be. So I'll keep that one on the radar. Don't need to worry about it too much right now. Avax Avalanche. I bought some spot Avax. I think this range looks super clean. This got weird because I put arrows on my... I think this range is super clean. We had equal lows there, swept them. Coming up into resistance here at the mid-range, you can see it's pretty much, it's rejected us like 3 times now here. If this daily candle closes as a sweep, I'd be a little bit cautious because it might come down here again before breaking up. But in general, I think this is a really, really clean looking chart. Actually, the 12-hour doesn't look too bad. I'll be interested to see if we can push above, like close the daily somewhere around here so it's not a sweep. That would make me feel good, but we'll see what happens. I don't plan on closing this yet, but I think a flip of 41 would be a nice opportunity to long or just buy spot up to 60. So flip here, I'd buy some more spot, and I would close it if we broke back below, like closed a couple daily candles back below this mid-range. Then I would cut that spot position. But I think taking a spot position on AVAX from 41 to 60, that'd be an awesome, almost 50% gain. So we take that all day. So that's what I think about AVAX. BNB, I am quite bullish on BNB. I think this was a nice retest of Monday's low. So Monday's low here, Monday's high. We came and swept the low, broke back within it, and now we retested it. So I'm looking for a move above the mid-range to the range high, and then to continue onward from that. So I am long BNB as well. I think we're bullish above 600 essentially. Let's see. It's basically this level where my cursor is, that dotted line. It was the high right here, the high right here, and now we've flipped that level. So I want to see expansion out of it. We essentially were ranging for like almost 3 weeks. And now it looks like we're finally breaking above that. So that level is this black one right here. So as long as we hold that, I am bullish on BNB. So I'm long right now from 620 or so, 625 I think, with a stop below this black line. So that is, yeah, I don't think BNB is a bad long right now. I would still want to play with a little bit wider of a stop loss. Like I don't think it comes back here, or I think it's bearish if it does. But if I was long here, this would kind of be like my soft invalidation, where if it broke back below here, I would look to cut this for like a small loss, because if this is 1R, like a 1R loss, then just this portion of it, I would say that's about a third. So you'd be losing 1/3 of what you risked, and that's not a huge deal. If you can cut your losses early, that's good. So if you longed here and it broke back down below that, I would look to cut the position. You can also look to add above the mid-range, and then we're full-on breakout mode above 680. So those are my thoughts on BNB. Definitely bullish on it though. Ray, I'm still long, pretty much break even. So like I think this is a decent spot. I think my stop's a little wider, somewhere like that. This price action is super clean to me. So on the launch, Ray mooned basically up to like 15, pulled back all the way here, but it kind of formed a nice floor around $6, $6.50, and a ceiling around 12. So you can see we bounce from here, rejection there, bounce from here, rejection there, come back down, bounce, rejection, and now we've broken above. So this is like, you'd be hard pressed to find a cleaner SR flip than this right here. So, and then with a little bit of added confluence, we broke through this little downtrend after this sweep, really clean price action, rounded retest of the monthly open, and also took out this low right here, pushed away, one more retest, and now I think this goes. So Ray looks really good to me. I'm very bullish on this. If it broke below the monthly open, I would cut my trade, let it do whatever it wants below 13. Maybe it pulls back to here, maybe it just ranges, maybe it pulls back to here, whatever. If it breaks below 13.1, I wait, and then I'll get back in once it gets back above the level, just because if this is just gonna range for a while, like, it is possible, I don't think it's likely, but it is possible that it just comes back below this SR and we range here for a while. So lose the monthly open at 13.1, and I will close my Ray long and just look to re-enter when we get back above it. Like, remember guys, we're playing probabilities here. So if the probability of Ray going up is higher and it looks more bullish when we're above the monthly open, then I only want to be long when we're above the monthly open. If we lose that level, sure, it might retest this one more time, and that's fine, but I would cut my trade right here, and if it does break back above, I'll get back in with a new invalidation level. So I would get in with a tighter stop loss, which means a bigger position size, something like that. So that's the plan for Ray. Looks really good though. I'm a big fan of Ray. XRP. So if you guys were here in the last stream, I was talking about this daily support and that I bought some spot XRP around 140, 139, 138, somewhere in there. It was a retest of last week's Monday's range high. Today it ripped for a while. Really nice push up, but now big wick down when everything was dumping. It's okay though. Like since it's a spot position, I'm not worried about paying funding or anything like that. So I'd like to see it get above here. I'll be more confident in it going up once it's above like 163, 164. But definitely just patient with this. It's not a leverage trade. It could come back down here and then go up, and that would be completely fine with me. So I am bullish on XRP. The high time frame looks good. However, I am just being a little bit patient. If I had to guess, I think the weekly open is somewhere around here. So let's see if I'm right. Look at that. Monthly and weekly. So I'm going to put those on there just for some more reference points. But the fact that we're holding above those levels is a good sign. That means our monthly candle is green. That means our weekly candle is green when we're trading above those levels, and that's bullish. So looks good to me. And the weekly, I think this is more than likely the low of the week. You see the open was right there. We dumped down. Now we're back above the weekly open, and I think we trend for the rest of the week. So XRP looks good. Rune, we never quite got our entry on it. We wanted to see a dip down just below 16. Didn't get that. It's all good though. It's now flipped this level as support, but I'm not entering it here just because I don't really have a clear invalidation. We still have those equal lows there. So there isn't really anything for me to do with a rune. I'm just going to extend this out and move this plan over, and we will review it again next week. I still think it's a good long opportunity if it dips down, but for now, I am just waiting. Cope. This had a really clean range for a while. I mean, there's nothing to do now if you're not in it, but this was a really nice range, and we were in it since the beginning of April or so. Nice move below. Broke out. Really big wick because there's not a ton of liquidity, I would assume, because this is a spot pair. This isn't the futures. They don't have a perp on FTX right now. But retested the range high. Nice pump away. Nothing to do for it, so I'm actually going to take it off. Like, if you're not in spot, I wouldn't buy any right now, and so it's not really worth talking about too much. YFI. I don't remember why I put this one on here. I don't think we talked about this on stream. I just had it marked from earlier. I do think DeFi might go on a run at some point, but I think I would rather play Aave, or however you pronounce it. So, don't want to put that there. So I'm going to take this one off my short list for now. Let's look at Sushi. This is a real bummer. Sushi's up 16% today and didn't give us our entry. We really wanted a long right there. Would have been an absolute banger, but didn't quite give us the entry. We're still in this range though, so it's not like we've missed a ton. If we reject here, I think we can look for some longs in this daily demand, the candle that like everything basically engulfed. What is going on? Oh, I put this on. Give me a sec. So yeah, if we reject at the range high, I would look for longs here, and you could probably have a stop loss there. I think it's too late for this $11 entry. I don't think it comes back because at this point, that's a 30% pullback, and I just don't think we get that. The move was definitely to buy spot on the sweep below the range low, but that's hindsight now, and I'm not just gonna spend this stream talking about what we should have done in hindsight. We're gonna talk about the opportunities now. So rejection at the mid-range or anywhere around here, I'd look for a long here. Stop loss would be below, and I would be targeting the range high. I would probably, you could trade the perp or buy spot, but I think this would be a nice setup. So we'll keep an eye on that. That's the sushi plan. Let me look at BTC. Daily close in an hour and 15 minutes. Higher time frame candles aren't looking too bad. I do really think the weekly open is our line in the sand. It is kind of starting to get above these levels, but what I really want to see is a move away, like really break through these levels and then come back and retest it. Like if we close a candle right here at 56.7, I don't want to just buy that tiny pullback and then go. I think the likelihood of it being a fake out if it does that is a lot higher than the likelihood of it being a fake out if it does this, if that makes sense. I want to see it create some distance from this SR level. See a Mavis, Mavis, I think it's Mav. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but thanks for tuning in for as long as you can. Have a good rest of your night, bro. But yeah, so I really would want to see it create some space between these levels for a lower probability of it being a fake out. Push above, get to like low 57K and then retest it. And that's when we look for our long. So I'm going to put this, I would probably bid here just to be safe. We'll target Monday's high. I know it's just 1.7, but it is what it is. Also, if this pulls back to here and then gets above, and this is the low, let's say at 55.9 before breaking out, then all of a sudden, when we take this trade, our stop loss can be there, and we're looking for like a 3.3R trade. So that's another thing to keep in mind. All right, back to the alt list. Sushi still ripping. Hold on, let me look at these guys really quick. See if I'm making money. That's a nice move right there. So I like this. Wicked below, took out these stop losses, broke above, kind of formed some demand right here around the monthly, or do we form some hourly demand? Yeah, kind of. Form demand right here, right on top of the monthly open. So I like when we have that in confluence. We just retested it, and XRP is starting to push away. So that's looking good. Link. Once again, our long plan slightly got front ran. It didn't quite make it down here. I would still be interested in longing around that 44 level, but for right now, I think Link is just hanging out. Like we had this insane run, and now it's just consolidating for a bit. So we just have to be patient. Maybe if we could throw a little trend line on here. If it breaks above that, I guess that's a really weird spot to put a trend line, but I would say that was a really cheeky fake out. Look at that. Right above the trend line, retested it. But if it kind of breaks out of that, then we might be done with this consolidation. So you could keep an eye on it for like a breakout play above here, but I'm holding off for now. I think Link just needs to cool off for a little bit because it ran, let's see, I want the date and time, like 35% in a day or in 30 hours. So Let's see. 68 likes on the video. If you guys could smash that like button, let's try and hit 100. I feel like that's a good goal for the stream. We definitely have more than 100 people viewing. Ave, this was our plan. Reclaim a Monday's low. Still haven't seen that. Ave is just kind of hanging out. It's consolidating above the monthly open, but it's forming all these equal lows right here. So either big sweep of those and then flip the monthly open. That would be an awesome long opportunity with the stop loss here. Or I'm still interested in longing when it gets above Monday's low. I just don't love how these lows look. It's a little funky to me. So I would rather take out all those early longers and then push up, but we'll see what happens. This one's definitely on my radar. Sol, we've been waiting for this setup since early May, like a week, maybe longer than that. This has just been consolidating, which is kind of nice because I moved some of my spot Sol into spot XRP, and XRP has been doing better recently, so I'm happy about that. But Sol ran like crazy since here, over 100%, so I don't think it's unusual that it's just consolidating for a bit. However, I think when we break out of this range, it's going to be an awesome long opportunity, or if we pull back to that 37 region, it would be a nice long as well. So let me clean this up a little bit. Still looking for something like this, and let's put a cleaned up range on here as well with those equal lows. Take that off too. So this is kind of what I'm looking at. Either something like that, or if we get above the range high at around 49, I think that'll mean Sol is ready for the next leg up. It's literally the same thing as this, guys. Here, and then expansion. Now we've got here, and then the next leg up to like 70 or wherever it goes, you know. But this is what it does. It consolidates for, what was this, like 12 days, something like that. It could be longer. It doesn't need to be that exact amount, but it could consolidate for a while and then break out, and then that's when we would want to be back on board. I would either look for a leverage long if we break above 49, or I would rotate some spot holdings back into Sol. I just don't want to waste my time while it is consolidating so much. Atom's getting close, so it once again front ran where we were looking to long. That's okay though. It really looks like we are getting close to breaking out of this range. We are getting rejected there again, so maybe it pulls back first and then goes up, but I'd like to see a nice move away, like to around 30 or something like that, and then we'll look to get a pullback to long. But this is getting close. It's definitely trading near the range high, so if we can get a long on Atom, I think once we break out, it's going to be huge. I think this goes to 50 quickly because look how much time we've spent here. We've been ranging here for almost 3 months. That means someone is loading up on a ton of Atom in this range for 3 months straight, and once that blows, it's gonna go crazy. All right, let me try and catch up with some of the chat. 89 likes, guys. We are 11 away. We can do it. Let's see. I'm just going to read the more recent ones. Long that top wick, instantly underwater on Atom. Yeah, that's why sometimes it can be best to wait for some candle closes, but it happens, man. Saw some people mentioning how BTC can fall down to 52K-ish range on a wave C before moving back up. I don't use Elliott wave theory at all, but going down to 51 is one of the scenarios we've talked about. So it would not surprise me to see that. And it shouldn't really scare anyone because we'll make money if we do that. While on Sam Coins, any Oxy thoughts? I can check it out in a sec. SXP, we can look at that. I have spot SXP somewhere on here, but I'm not in a leveraged SXP trade. Am I streaming through the daily close? Probably not that long. I'll keep streaming for a little bit, keep answering some questions, but yeah, probably not till the daily close. Would you take any alt trades if BTC was going to dump? Well, the thing is, we don't know if Bitcoin's going to dump. So we just have to trade the charts individually. Like, I don't know what BTC is going to do. I have plans for BTC. If it follows our plan, like Bitcoin could go up and be a long opportunity, or it could drop. You know, like, we don't know. We're planning for both scenarios, but in the meantime, like, if an alt setup looks really good, I'm not just going to not take this Ray setup. Like, if I wasn't in already, I wouldn't just not take this Ray setup because I think Bitcoin might drop. Like, I'm still going to play this regardless. And hey, maybe Bitcoin drops and Ray does this, and then it starts to rally, and maybe it just starts going vertical, and then I don't have a chance to get on board. So I'm not going to stop myself from taking this trade because I don't know what's going to happen with Bitcoin, because we never know exactly what's going to happen. So that's my rant on that. How long have I been trading for? We got that question once today. About 4 years, a little more. Bitcoin running up tonight, or you think it's going to keep going down for now? We spent like the first 20 minutes of the stream talking about Bitcoin, so you can go back and check that out. I don't want everyone to have to listen to it twice. Basically, we're planning for both scenarios. This is good to see from Avax. We really want to see it close above that 37.5-ish level. Let me look at Oxy. Just a sec, guys. Okay. Just had to check my phone. Oxy, let's see. So at first glance, this just looks like it's ranging to me. That doesn't mean you can't trade it. You just have to trade with that in mind. Let's see if there are any. Yeah, that doesn't help me too much. I think longing this dip probably, I mean, obviously in hindsight that looks good, but yeah, I don't see too much that's super clear. I guess if we get back above this low, you can see that's been a pretty clean SR level. It's rejected us here and here once again. So if we can get back above that, you could look for some long opportunities. I don't know much about Oxy. If it's a Sam coin, it'll probably end up going up. So I'm sure that'd be fine for some spot holdings, but I honestly haven't traded it much or looked at it much. But to me, it kind of looks like we're just ranging for now. Actually, this is probably the better line to look at. I think you break above this and we go back into some, it starts trending up, so that'd be a good level to keep an eye on. Let's see, SXP. Yeah, I mean, wait, do I have anything on this one? Just that line. I'm bullish on this chart in general. We did take out that high, so I'm kind of waiting for us to break back above this level before I'm interested in getting more SXP, but I'm in spot from a little while ago. I don't remember the exact price I got in at, but 550 is the level we want to see it break. Something like that. All right, let me try and check some more questions. When you talk about flipping an SR level, what time frame do you consider to be relevant? Well, it all depends. And I think you can use the lower time frames because they kind of bleed over to a higher time frame. So for instance, with this setup that we have on Bitcoin, yeah, I don't need to see like there's no high time frame specifically that I need to see close above. I mean, I'd like to see a nice hourly candle above here and then a retest of it. So in this scenario, I guess you could say an hourly candle, but that's also because we're trading a lower time frame. I also could be looking at the 15-minute and say it doesn't need to be one candle, but just push up quite a bit away from that level and then retest it. So it's not always one specific time frame that I need to see it happen on. It kind of just depends what kind of trade you're taking. Like for instance, if we're trading a higher time frame level, then we would want to see a higher time frame close above it. But usually, I mean, to make it as simple as possible for the sake of answering this simply, I would say usually I like the hourly chart to look for early signs of us flipping a higher time frame, or of us flipping a SR level. And if we get that hourly candle close above, then next, well, maybe we see that 4-hour candle close above, and then that kind of keeps bleeding onto higher and higher time frames. So I hope that helps. What strategy was I using for FX? Just the same thing. I trade the exact same way across markets. Different markets have different tendencies, but for the most part, the structure of my trades and my analysis were the same. Can I look at Doge? Sure. I'm still mad I didn't long it here though. We had that really nice range. So if I was looking to long Dogecoin, I probably would just look for another range continuation type of play. So come down, take out those lows, look for along there, or flip the range high. Or if we get a little bit more of a pullback, this is really nice 4-hour demand right here. Give that a little color. So if we let me get my, there we go. If we started dropping and didn't just like quickly wick below and then get back above this 0.53 level, I would look for something around here. All right. But that's kind of what I would be watching if I wanted to play it. It's a real bummer. We had this range set up, and then when the whole market was dumping and this like started dropping way below the range, I was like, okay, forget about it. And then it ended up just playing out perfectly. Go from range low to the range high, tick to tick. And it was like almost 100% move. But I kind of took it off my radar because I was focused on other stuff, because this came down so far below the range low that I was like, the Doge hype is probably over, so I'm not going to worry about it anymore. But that was an expensive mistake, I guess. First time, ADA. Yeah, I can look at ADA. First time attending, a lot to learn here. Have you talked about using OBV at all to get ahead of pumps a little? I don't use OBV. I don't really use any indicators. Sometimes I'll look at RSI for a little added confluence, but I'm never taking a trade based off of an indicator. I am a price action trader, so that's kind of my bread and butter. And I think if you're a new trader, then I think you should learn price action as your bread and butter as well. I think you can add indicators on top of that as you learn, as you get further in your knowledge of trading. But I think the problem is people use indicators as a crutch when they get started with trading. And when that happens, like, you never really learn to just read a chart, and then you start relying on the indicator more than the price action itself. And I think that can be a little dangerous in the development of a trader. So that's my quick take. Let me look at ADA. Oh, wow. This guy's going again. All right. So I remember we looked at this a while back, and I was just like, well, we're just ranging a ton, so we'll let it do its thing. Really strong daily candle here. So this is an opportunity to long the pullback, and I think this is a really nice level here. You can see we wicked into it twice, swept it, broke down. Now we have absolutely blasted through. So like this candle on a different basis, like obviously this is a daily chart, but the way we've pushed through this SR level, that makes me confident it's not just a fake out. And that's the kind of thing I want to see here on an hourly time frame with Bitcoin. Just a really nice candle, not that high, but a nice candle breaking through this level, and then we look for the retest. So really good example there with ADA. It's on my watch list, right? Oh yeah, here it is. I'm going to put this one up here because I want to keep an eye on this. So really nice SR level. I don't know if it comes back down. It might not. Let me get some. Okay, those are a bit far down. Monday's range is also quite far away. The way I'd look to play this, we formed this hourly demand right around the range high. I don't know if it's going to come down here, but if it does, we're looking for something like this. Maybe take out that low. I'm not going to just long it right here at all-time highs, but if it gives me the dip, I will long that, especially because we're about to close a really bullish daily candle. So basically what I'm looking for will be a wick down. Like if we close up here, we wick down on the next daily candle, maybe close it higher up so we have a longer wick. That'd be pretty bullish, and then continue from there. It could just keep running without us. But if it does, because this is kind of in full-on breakout mode, I would look for a range to form, and then I would just look to play the range like we always do. Like, I don't know where, I need to find that tweet, but basically markets will trend a ton, and then they'll put in a range. You got your range low, range high, range for a bit, sweep the range low, that's your long, flip here, flip the range high, that's your other long, and that's kind of like how I will look to play it. I made a really good graphic with it, but I don't know what the quickest way to find it is. Maybe someone has it bookmarked. But yeah, I would just have to be patient here. Maybe we got something with this. If it cools off a little bit, this could be our range here, range high here, range low. If we take this and break back below it, that could be our little fake out above the range high, and then maybe we come back down. So I'll leave that on there. I don't know what's going to happen. It could just go straight up, but it definitely looks bullish. So now we just look for opportunities to get on board. What's up, Reno? Good to see you here, man. Thanks for your continued support. Let me try and see where I left off. What are your thoughts on when the bull run ends? Where we top? I have no idea. If you use like fib extensions based on other bull runs, which like I think you can do, but also that's only a sample size of like 3, so I don't know how accurate it's going to be. Then we end up with Bitcoin going somewhere in the 200s, I think. But yeah, who knows? I say it probably on every stream because it's an idea that I need to really pound home, like make sure you guys understand. And it's just that I trade level to level, so I'm not here trying to predict where the top is gonna be and trade based off speculation, but I just try and trade level to level, and I'll keep trading the bull run for as long as it lasts, and then when we have to flip high time frame bias, we're going to do that and keep trading it in the other direction. Any equities you like lately? That's a good question. I'm a big Microsoft fan. I like their business model. I like Costco. I think that's a good stock. Yeah, I'll give you those two. What are the fundamentals of SXP? I have no idea. I remember asking you about Doge, but you didn't like how the chart looked before it blew up. Yeah, I thought the PA was funky for a little while, but that retest of the range low could not, this one could not have been cleaner. But I think I was a little put off by this funny ranging and then boom, and then this funny ranging here. It just has these crazy volatility spikes and then these tiny candles when it just ranges. So, but hey, we go where the volatility is. When you, wait, let me see. Did you get stopped out of the BTC trade you took at the range low? So I explained this at the beginning of the video, but if anyone tuned in late, they probably missed it because it really was the very beginning of the video. I took a long here when we dropped down, and I had my stop loss at like 55. So stop loss was like here. But when this started to roll over, I tightened my stop loss to here because I was like, if this low gives out, then I want to buy lower. So I got stopped out of that trade for like 0.2R or something like that. Took a little small L, and then I relonged at 55.7. It was like 55,750. So I relonged around here with the same 55K stop loss, and I closed that long at 56,400, like right when the stream started, and that was pretty much based off this candle. So right when that candle closed, I closed my long because I was like, we're at resistance. If this was the dead cat bounce or whatever you want to call it, then I'll happily buy back lower, or I'll be patient, wait for it to break through, retest, get back in right where I exited, but now with more certainty or more confidence that we go up. So take profit at resistance, add back on when we flip it, which I'm sure you've heard me say if you've tuned in to multiple streams, and I think you have. I recognize your name. So that's what happened with BTC. So it was like negative 0.2R, and then I made like 0.9R, so up like 0.7R on the day. I'll never complain after a winning day, but well, that's on the Bitcoin trades. I think my alt trades are doing pretty well still. This is pretty much break even. That one's doing good. Avax, really want to see that daily close above 37.5. But yeah, that's where I'm at with Bitcoin. And then we laid out a bunch of scenarios in the first 20 minutes of the video, so you can go back and check those. But I did feel it was worth going over one more time because I'm pretty sure I tweeted that I'm still long, so it's probably good I update that again. Wow, look at the bots. These ADA bots are just going crazy. Okay, yeah, but this Bitcoin's not looking too bad. We'll see if it can break above the weekly open, but like I said, we laid all that out at the beginning. We talked about LTC. You can probably go to the video like 30 minutes in. We talked about it right after Ethereum. So I basically just went down this list. So you'll have to rewind to look at LTC. Chart Tesla. Maybe we can look at some stocks in a future stream, but I am running low on time now. Let me just try and answer the last few questions that I've missed. Hey Kaz, can you explain the purpose of the mid-range in your trading? Purpose of it, I would say when you're above the mid-range, higher probability it goes to the range high. When you're below the mid-range, higher probability that it goes to the range low. but I try to not take too many trades around the mid-range. I try to take trades at range extremes when we're in a ranging environment, which maybe you've heard me say before. So if we have a range and we're trading like this, I don't want to take any trades in the middle. I want to look for longs at the range low. I want to look for shorts at the range high. And then on breakouts, you can look for trades in that direction, but you're kind of bound to get chopped up in the mid-range. So that's kind of the mid-range thing. I don't think we're going to do any more chart requests, guys, but I want to answer questions that I missed. These streams are really useful. Keep it up, man. Glad you are enjoying them, Dow. So you use order blocks, question mark. You can call them different things. I use supply and demand, I would say, which are more specific candles. I think order blocks have more specific candles too, but with supply and demand, I more so look for the candle that led to a break in structure or an impulsive move came out of it. So the reason I like this hourly demand was because we pumped out of it, nice strong move out of that level, and also broke above that high. So that's why that was a relevant level to me. Hey, Cause, when you enter the sweep of the range low, how do you exercise the trade? Like half position first, where do you place your stop? It kind of depends. It depends. So let me look for an example. Didn't one give it soon or recently? This, even though this wasn't like one wick, I longed it a little earlier. I longed BNB, I think it was 630. I actually got really a clutch entry on that wick. Basically, I was longing this hourly level, but I would have been fine longing Monday's range low. I just didn't think we'd get it. So in a scenario like this, when we have this range, I would put my stop below here. But right now I'm giving it a little extra space. So, I guess it kind of just depends more on context. Let me try and find another example. Okay, let's do this one. Let me get a clean chart. So this was a really nice range on Bitcoin. Yes, this is some hindsight analysis, but it's for educational purposes. I'm not saying I took this trade. I missed it. But this was a really nice sweep. In this case, it was just a wick. And technically, on that candle close, you could enter, but having a stop loss there is super risky. And I also think that sometimes, it doesn't need to just be a wick. This could have gone down a little more and then got back in the range low. So sometimes what I'll try and do is find a SR level, further back. This example is a little tough, but a while ago, so over here, we had a nice sweep of this low before continuation. So you could use the level, this one. You could put your stop loss on the other side of that. So if just a wick goes through and it didn't go very far and you want a little bit more space on your stop loss, you can look back to see if there are any other SR levels or relevant levels like that and put your stop loss below there to give yourself room if it does do one of those again. Or you could wait for some more candles. Like after this candle went through, I would feel comfortable putting a stop loss there just because that makes me think, okay, that was the sweep. Now we're going because we had a really strong impulsive move out of that level. So yeah, context matters. Also, the distance of the sweep kind of matters. So it comes down to a few different factors. I wish it was a simpler answer. Going balls deep in Microsoft calls bet. Yeah, guys, I covered LTC at the beginning. Basically, we're looking for a flip of 360 to get long. That's kind of the main idea if you didn't catch it here. But this was a really nice range. So here, and now it's coming up to the range high. I think with this one, after that next candle, if you see that candle pushes away, I guess on the hourly it looked a little cleaner. After the sweep, if the next candle pushes away, I would say that improves, from my experience, that improves the likelihood that that was your low. So it doesn't always work like that, but if I was buying this like lower time frame, if I wanted to long right here, I probably would have put my stop below there just to give it space. And then if it rolled over and started trading below the range low, I would have cut it early. I think that's something people don't do enough, and they also don't talk about enough on Twitter, is like, you can give your trade a lot of space and then cut it if it loses your level. Like, if I took a long on that hourly candle close with a stop here, like, sure, the risk to reward isn't as good. I mean, but I expect this to go quite a bit further than the range high. But then if this comes down here and hits this wick, instead of a full 1R loss, which would be the whole thing, you're losing like 0.4 R. So if you don't remember from the risk management video, let's just say $1,000 is your risk. Instead of losing $1,000 because you put your stop loss really tight, price breaks down and it's losing your level, and let's say you cut it right here, instead you're losing $400. So it's a good way to protect yourself, having a wider stop and then cutting it based on a I guess more discretionary invalidation. Well, not really discretionary, but a more fluid. Let's say you buy X coin at $10. It goes to 15 and then starts dropping to strong resistance at 12. I think you mean strong support at 12. Would you sell at 15 to add at 12, or would you rather have a lower cost average at 10? If that $12 support like met my criteria for a long opportunity, I would probably just look to buy more there. It also depends what kind of risk or what kind of resistance that $15 was. If you bought it at 10 and 15 is like its new all-time high, then I think it would be tough to like know to take profit at that all-time high exactly. But if 15 is like a pretty clear invalidation, I mean resistance level, I think you could take profit there and then add back on when it dips or add when it breaks that level. So once again, kind of comes a little bit down to discretion. My favorite time frames: hourly, 4 hour, sometimes down to the 15-minute. I mostly trade the hourly chart though. I do analysis on the 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, I would say are my main ones. Hey Cause, late tune in but hype, loving these streams. Heck yeah, that's what we like to hear. Glad you're enjoying them, man. And remember, you can watch the recording afterwards to catch up everything you missed. And if you watch it right afterwards, like you're still pretty much getting all the ideas and analysis in real time. Like they're still relevant. It's not like you're watching 4 days later where everything would have already played out. So when looking for an opportunity, is the length of a range more appealing? Once again, I mean, like it depends what time frame you're trading. Like here, it put in, usually when I am looking for a range, as long as it puts in a low, a high, and the mid-range has some good interaction, it doesn't really matter how long it lasts. But for instance, like really high time frame, when price is just ranging for a really long time, that makes me think more accumulation is happening there. So for like lower time frame, day trades or whatever, the length of the range doesn't mean too much to me as long as the criteria are there. Like it puts in a low, a high, maybe nice interaction with the mid-range, takes out the low, whatever. Like it doesn't need to last forever. But the reason I mentioned, like you're probably asking because I talked about the time frame of the atom range specifically, but only reason I felt that was relevant was because I think someone has been loading up, or multiple people have been loading up on Atom for like 90 days. So in that case, when we range for that long, I expect a big move out of that range when it finally gives. I don't miss your stream, even though it's 5 a.m. here in India. Man, that is some dedication. And I will try and make it easier. Maybe I'll do like maybe we should do like Tuesday and Saturday or something like that, and then have Saturday like 8 hours earlier or something, so like more time zones can catch it. But I don't know. Have I ever tried 30x leverage or more? I think you should look up in the chat like 5 messages to where Brennan posts the risk management video, and I kind of talk about why the leverage amount isn't quite as relevant as the position sizing. What time frame do you think LTC could hit 500 in? Honestly, man, that I'd be guessing if I gave you an answer. And like I really can't time things like that. Do I know when LTC is going to hit 500? No. But will I enter a long position? If we do this, then yeah. So like I know my criteria for entry, but I can never say how quickly something's going to happen. And if someone tells you how quickly they think something's going to happen, they're probably usually guessing, or it's based off of some like news catalyst or something like that, which I think sometimes can work. But for the most part, when people throw out dates or time frames of how long a coin will take to hit a certain level, I think they're guessing for the most part. So, all right, guys, just under an hour and a half. I think we're going to call it there. Got through a ton of Q&A and also a ton of alts, and I think the plans are very clear on Bitcoin. So I will throw some of those charts in the Telegram. Free Telegram link is in the description, and also my Bybit referral link is in the description. If you enjoy the streams and would like to support my content, you can use that link to sign up. I think Bybit is the best exchange to trade Bitcoin. I think it's the best exchange to trade Ethereum. I think their liquidity is great, their order execution, multiple reasons why I like it. They don't have all the alts, so for some small cap alts, you'll need to go elsewhere, but Bybit is where I trade all the majors. Angle, you are late, bro. It's been an hour and a half, man. I'm sorry, Angle. You're going to have to go back and rewatch some. Oops. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. We had an awesome amount of people here today, over 100 likes, so that is always good to see. Bitcoin just rejected from the weekly open. And yeah, so it doesn't look like this setup is coming to fruition. But like I said, I'll post these charts in the Telegram and kind of talk about the plans again. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and I will talk to you guys Tuesday. That is when we have the next stream scheduled. In the meantime, I will talk to you on Twitter and reach out if you have any questions. Have a great rest of your day.